Hello, everybody. I'm Steve
And
Peterson.
I'm Jack Hinkle.
Welcome back to Chops Podcast, the podcast where we talk about knowing your content, knowing your teaching, and knowing your students. How you doing, Jack?
Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, Steve, we got to tell them now in case they're about to press pause. We're going to have a guest on next week.
Next week, you know why we're having a guest?
Why?
Because we're sick of talking to each other. We need a mediator. This is like
It's actually a
counseling.
chops intervention.
It is a chop invention.
Chop invention. Yeah, we're going to have a guest on next week. And next week will be the season finale. We take a little break over the holidays. And then we'll come
Teachers
back in
always taking
January.
Breaks. Teachers always take breaks. They get like 3 weeks off at Christmas. Okay, so we have a participant interview guest that some of you will know, and some of you will know that person through Chops Reels.
Yeah. That
Right.
person has been mentioned.
Yes.
That's
So
true.
we'll do that, and it'll be our last one in 2025.
It's Ted Lasso. It's Jason Sudeikis. No,
Oh, is that his name, Jason?
Jason Sudeikis.
He's funny.
Okay, if we could have him on here, but as Ted Lasso, that would be a great. Like, don't interview Jason, but interview
Ted.
Jason as Ted.
Ted.
Yeah,
Could we get Ted Lasso on here? Is he American?
he's from Kentucky.
He is?
Are we talking about Jason or Ted? Jason's American, right?
Yeah,
He was like
well,
on SNL for forever.
I'm just asking. I didn't know if he was like a Canadian or something.
Wait,
I thought
no. Well, maybe I think he's American. But the character Ted Lasso is from like Oklahoma or something,
Kansas.
right? Kansas.
Wichita.
Kansas. I love football.
Yeah. I'm into my second view of Ted Lasso, and I just finished season 1. My wife and I have been watching it together again and like laughing out loud. And then Jack and I watched some clips before this episode. That is a hilarious show. Now, it's too bad that the overall content is on the money. The overall
yeah.
content about Ted Lasso choosing to look on the bright side of life
Yes.
and how he assumes and expects the best from people.
And how he gets the best out of people and taking like totally different ways from person to person. That's
Right.
great.
And the character development in that thing is really strong, but there are so many like sideways and like rated R clips on there, and it's so sexualized.
Yes. You're like, oh, I'd love to show this kid that.
You're like,
Nah,
you
never mind.
can't.
Oh, maybe the. No. How about. No.
Yeah.
Okay,
But the
I'm out.
content, the message is right on.
That's good. Yep.
And the language is pretty poor, but
So thanks to Apple TV Plus for sponsoring this video. Giving them some
get
nice-
back on the.
There you go.
So
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. We like to watch it and talk about it. Best leadership practices. But this week, Steve, we're talking about
practice. No, we're talking.
We're
about,
talking about practice.
We're talking about practice. Just when the 11 of us can versus the other 11 of us.
When everything's in our control, go
Not-
set up the cones, Jamie. Hey, yo,
Ooh.
Colin, set up the cone. Okay.
That's got to sting.
We're talking about feeling tired. We're talking about feeling tired. And when you wake up on Monday and the alarm goes off,
Yeah. Did you feel tired this morning when you woke up?
no, actually, honestly, no. I was like, let's go. You?
Physically, I was not tired. Emotionally, I was like, oh, I'm exhausted. But I did sleep well last night.
That's
So
good.
I didn't feel fatigued, but I did feel not dread. I don't know what the feeling is, but cautious.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to talk about fatigue, teacher fatigue.
And, you know, here's the thing about teacher fatigue is that a lot of people, when they go to work, a lot of jobs do not interact with people. You sit in your desk or your cubicle or do what you do, or
Yep.
you are working but you're not talking to people, and you can kind of make it work for
Right.
8 hours. But if you're a teacher and you're in front of kids for 6 out of your 7 hours that you're at work, you got to be like on for 6 hours. And most teachers I know that teach, like that do teach in front of children, are pretty energized for those 6 hours. And you got to make that happen, even if you got a little case of the sleepies. It's real. It's real. So, Steve, what does it look like when you're tired, but you got to teach anyway.
Pain.
I thought you were going to say that's every day, Jack.
That's every day, Jack. Okay. It's interesting, Jack.
Is it, Steve?
Now, I knew you were going to say something like that, something snarky.
Did you?
Yeah, something condescending. Jack, I was setting you up for another one, bro. Take the bait.
I'm trying to take the higher ground now.
Okay.
I just want to be good cop, so it makes you bad cop.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I get more tired doing the job I'm in right now than I did as a teacher.
The administration side of things.
Yeah, and you're going to go, wow, Steve, you must be really working hard. Now, that's when you, as a compassionate person, would say, why is that, Steve? Why is that, Steve? It's because I'm an extrovert.
You are definitely an extrovert. You know what they say about extroverts? They talk too much. No, they say that they recharge with people,
Yeah,
right?
that's where your energy comes from.
Yeah.
And then an introvert gets more recharge from being isolated or solo, right?
Yeah, no, it's true.
So in the best of times, if I go into a rehearsal tired and I go into a class that I'm doing my thing, I can come out of that class more energized. And then I can go into the next class, and that can carry me through, and it can be more energized. So my job now is a lot more, almost entirely administrative, which is by myself or with one or two people at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to people in the music department about, with Becky, who is our administrative assistant, and talking with other teachers. But mostly those interactions are one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Talking with other administrators, one-on-one. Talking with students, one-on-one. And then teaching less, so that group dynamic is less.
And if you're listening right now and you're like, no, dude, stop. That is like every teacher's dream is having time to work.
Careful.
Think about this, okay? Our district used to do e-learning days, like planned e-learning days for staff development,
Yep.
right? And we would do staff meetings for probably the first 3 hours of the day, lunch break. Then the last 3 hours of the day, like work on your own department meetings, whatever you need to do. You remember that?
Yeah.
And those afternoons were really great for teachers to kind of catch up on some things that like you hadn't had time for.
Yeah.
Right? Those days felt so slow and so draining, and I felt like I had nothing accomplished.
And you were watching the clock.
And I was watching the clock
And
the
as
whole
a
time.
teacher, you never watch the clock except to know when you're supposed to pack up.
Right. And were those days helpful for me? Yes, because I could catch up on some things. Did I like those days like once in a while? Sure. It was kind of a nice change of pace. But if you have those types of days where they're completely in services and they're staff meetings and they're like time working on your own, those feel good for one, but you cannot want those all the time as a teacher. Like
No.
that's painful if you do those every day. And for half of Steve's day, that's kind of where he is.
So maybe I just need to have 60 kids in my office as I'm working.
That
Because I don't think it's
playing
sorry.
saxophone, that could work. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not the work that's like so exhausting. I think it's part of that extrovert thing.
Yeah, I would say so.
That it's sometimes I have to go looking for my own fun.
Right.
I mean, I have to stir the snow globe for my own sanity.
And that's when he comes down into a class.
Heckles his class.
Heck-
Or comes into
Boop,
jazz
boop,
band.
boop,
It comes into
Oh,
jazz
Mr.
band
Peterson.
or band or jazz band or theory,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But that's kind of like a lot of times that's like for me.
Oh, that's true. Because you came into jazz band like last week,
Yeah.
and you sat down at the piano, and I was talking to the kids, and
That
you
was
started
for me.
playing something.
That was for me.
And then they all like started laughing and then playing with you, and then you just left, and the class was completely chaotic. And you look at me and you go, "Sorry." You just walk out the room.
If I can't drop a grenade in my own class, I have to go to Jack's class.
I've been reading some threads of like new teachers saying like, "Hey, my principal just came in and completely took over my class because it was so chaotic." They're like, "Is that bad?" And I just like think about this. I'm like, my administrator came in and just wrecked my class on purpose and then left. What does that mean about me?
Actually, that's kind of funny.
Totally backwards. You're just like, sorry, bye.
Boop.
That's
So
it.
okay. Now, so thinking about this with tired, now I would say it's easier to get through the day as a teacher teaching 6 classes a day, but I would say the drop off of energy after class 7, like at the end of the day, is like massive.
Yeah. Well, I could bet.
Like when you stop as a teacher now,
You're like,
you're empty.
Right.
Like, and you're
There's-
driving home and you're like, I'm sure you have your own ritual, whether you talk to people or listen to a podcast or it's silent, but you kind of go into that,
the drive home, honestly, might be the hardest part of the day.
getting home without
Without
falling asleep.
dying. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's not like I'm tired. It's just like I cannot focus on driving. I probably shouldn't say this on the air and like record like
Get your kids off the street. Jack Hinkle is live. He drives a Toyota Sienna. Sienna? No.
Sienna.
Dude.
I do drive a mom car. It's not a Sienna. It's the
Yeah,
other one.
he wears it well.
RAV4 2019, baby.
I thought that was a Denali.
What's a Denali? Is that a nice car?
Denali is like a mega. It'd be like something they carry the president in, like a Suburban. But
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm a teacher. I don't know
Okay.
those bougie
Okay,
things.
yours is a RAV4.
I drive a
It's
RAV4.
a handsome car.
It is just what I need. Yeah, when I get in the car, dude, I just sit, and I probably should just take time, but I'm trying to like go home when I'm done. Like when I'm done. I don't want to waste time here, you know what I mean, if I'm not working. But I think I do need some sort of buffer time before I drive. Cuz sometimes I'll get in my office after 7th period and like mess around on my phone for like 10 minutes or something just to like help myself.
Right.
But you're right. That after that last class of the day, I'm like, whoa. And my schedule this year has changed, so it's more fluid. I had more like stops in the last years, but this
Right,
year
'cause you changed buildings.
I changed buildings. I don't get that little travel prep because I'm fully at the high school now. But you know, I have similar to your schedule. It's like periods 1, 2, 3, 4 are back to back until lunch, and then I go back for another one, and then I
Yes.
prep toward the end of the day. 1, 2, 3, 4 back to back to back to back. You like feel okay because you're right. You just keep going,
Right.
and then when you stop, you're like,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think that's where your organizational style kind of fits you well, because Jack is kind of lean and clean with his organizational style. He doesn't carry papers. He has he's a device carrier.
I'm an iPad kid, man.
So all
Cheeto dust and all.
the only thing the kids have paper wise is like jazz band music, but all his music theory and all the piano stuff is like stuff he doesn't have to mess with copying music. So one thing you don't have to do is like gather papers and sort papers and grade papers and like hand things back. You just have it all ready to go. It's all digital, which I think saves you an incredible amount of time, because your files are always organized because they're on some digital learning device,
It is.
right? And you're not.
I don't have to make sure I grab the right stuff.
Right.
No, that's true. Yeah, because there are some days I do need some of those things and I forget them, but like very rarely. But every day, MacBook, iPad, water bottle, sub in coffee if it's 5th period. Only coffee in 5th period. It's the wake up round. Yeah. That's
So
it.
you're if you didn't teach with other people, like if you like we have a music department, like we don't have offices in the band room. Like some people do have offices in the band room
Yeah,
or
if you're
choir
like
room.
one teacher in the school,
Right,
right?
you'd
just
have your own room,
room.
right? So we all have like separate offices, not even cubicles, but like separate offices that have a locked door on it
Mhm.
and a window.
We're in one right now.
We're in one right now.
We should do like an office tour someday.
Panorama, yeah. See what's going on.
Yep.
Imagine where we are.
Yep.
But so there's like 7 people on our floor, and then downstairs there's 3, 4 more,
Mm-hmm.
right? And 5 more. And so inevitably when you get out of school at 3:20 and people are kind of making it back up from the battlefield.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Some
that's so
people
true.
people are limping back up. It's like, it's like there's 2 stairways to this level. So you kind of come up here at different times, and we might have, might be fixing an instrument or talking to a student or getting an instrument
Yes.
or copying. It's never just 3:20, go to the bunker. It's always like 3:20, get the kids out of the room, tidy up.
Yes. And
So-
then talk to some kids, and then you come up here.
Then you're up here, and then that is kind of, cranking down. And like Brian Golden next to us, he's always listening to concert band music.
Yes.
He's always listening to concert band music, high school and junior high.
Nicole Nouse on the other side of me. Because Steve's in my office. I don't know why we're talking. I think it is interesting.
No, because it's actually going to go to my
Steve and
point.
I share a wall.
Yeah, we share a wall. So I can yell to Jack. He can yell to me.
Yes. And then Nikki's on the other side of me. Brian's on the other side of you.
Yes.
And then the orchestra director's on the far corner.
Right.
So it is nice that we're all here. And usually, like, after class, Steve will pass by my office because it's on the way to his. And this is what he does every time he goes in. He goes, like, into my...
But they can't
like,
see you, though.
D-
You're
well,
doing an impression
I'm
of
doing
Steve
an-
Peterson.
I
Go.
am. Well, they
'Kay.
can't see me if they watch the reel.
Okay,
This way I
okay,
can watch
okay,
the
go.
reels. Yeah, you
We'll
watch
make
and
it
just go,
funny.
I gotta fix it. I gotta change my hair and like mess it up. He walks in, he's just like Kramer from Seinfeld, like, and then like walks to his office. I'm just doing like a deadpan stare, and my hair is totally jacked up right now. That's what it is. And
No,
every
I
time.
normally go into Jack's office. I
you
can
sit,
tell my
you sit down in the chair.
I do, and it's funny when you sit down to Jack's office. Yeah, I go, whew, and I can't see Jack's face because his monitor. It's like a very antisocial office. It's like really odd. Like I feel like I shouldn't be there.
Guess he hasn't taken the hint yet.
But he then after about 5 minutes, he'll come to the other side and be like, talk to.
5 minutes.
He'll talk. Oh, I didn't know you were sitting there, Steve. And then I'll always ask, do you still want to be a teacher? Or he'll say that. Do you still want to be a teacher?
And the first response is always
No.
no. It's just like what we did. He sits down. He looks like he just came out of like the war. Like he just got shipped back.
How's Aunt Betty? How's Aunt Betty? How are the kids? Do you still want to be a soldier? No.
But you always do. You always do like the left to right look. You're like, who's here? You're like he's experiencing like PTBD, like post traumatic band disorder, and he's like looking left and right.
PTBD.
He's like, I'm like, Steve, you okay? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, buddy, talk it out. It's gonna be okay.
Still want to be a teacher? No.
No.
Okay.
I'm like, that's good.
So
'cause you're an
what
administrator.
else? Yeah. Okay,
He made it out. You made it to the other side.
Don't follow me. So
Save
do
yourself,
not- do
Jack.
not
Save
follow me.
yourself.
Do not follow the man in the green castle, whatever it's called. Okay. Now, what I was gonna say is, if you didn't work in an area, or you didn't have an office back in a line of 7 people, would you just go home immediately? Like if you could go to you had a classroom that was
Yeah.
30 feet away from your bud, or you even had like your own personal door outside, like from your grade school room, would you just like duck out? Like not dodging contract time, but like we're allowed to leave at 3:30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who in their right mind leaves school at 3? Okay, it's fine if you do, but I don't even know if I could leave school at 3:30. Just I would need a moment.
Right. Right. If
I don't
you
even know what
have-
I'm doing, but I just need a moment to still.
Yes. The only reason I could see it is if you had last period prep.
Yes.
And you get your time then, and you're like all tidied up, and you're like, oh, 3:30, okay, bye. But oh my gosh, I don't even think I'm out of my rehearsal room by like, I mean, I'm always a couple minutes after, like you were talking, and then some kid needs something,
Right.
and then you come up here, and usually, I mean, we talk to each other for a while,
Yes.
not every day, but some
Right.
days, and that's like for our sanity. Like talk about, hey,
So
can you
that's
believe this happened, or oh my
You're-
gosh,
right. Or what are you doing tomorrow? Or what are you doing with this?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So would you leave?
I think if I had no one else here, I think I would at like right away. Probably not, but
Well,
I
no-
wouldn't linger.
No, because Jack always takes care of future Jack.
That's true.
Future Jack first. Anybody else second.
Steve last.
Ah!
Yep.
Okay.
But you would stay. You would stay. You wouldn't even know what time it is. I don't even know if is 3:30 even our contract time.
It is.
Okay, it's good to know.
I need to at least put eye drops in my eyes. Okay, I have to like freshen up.
Steve, there's your tired. That's how your tired corresponds to you.
I put in eye drops like I'm a meth addict all the time. Just like I probably shouldn't say that. But I've never been.
There are times I do walk into your office. You are like mid drop. I like walk in. You're like, "What's up, Jack?" And there was the time like mine were acting up, and you came into my office.
Jack was like,
I'm
it was like
afraid of eye drops.
he was like dripping hot wax into his eyes, like ah, and his eyes were like big as a billiard ball. He just looked like totally like strung out. I was like, buddy, are you sure that's Visine and not my distilled vinegar? You okay, buddy?
Students' tears.
Students, oh gosh,
That's kind of gross, actually. I
Ew.
take that one back.
ooh,
No, yeah, you do have some eye. That stuff's like chapstick, though. I think your body is like
it
addicted
does,
to that
it
stuff.
does. If
They
part
don't
of it
make
though just feels
moisture
good.
on their own.
It just feels
I
good
don't
though.
think that's true. I think that's weird. I know we say different, not weird. I think it's weird that you think eye drops feel good.
Do you wear contacts?
No.
Okay, either do I. But I've heard that it's taking off your contacts at the end of the day is like really like my roommate in college used to be like, oh, and I'd be like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm taking off my contacts. And I said, what's the
Yeah,
deal?
what's
And he
more
goes,
refreshing than touching your eyeball?
he said it's like taking off your shoes and socks at the end of the day. When you pop the contact off and the air comes back to your eye,
And you're like, oh, let me try.
let me try to. So I'm wearing contacts. I don't even need them. So I usually.
That's why your eyes are so blue.
Oh my gosh. I usually put eye drops in at least once a day. In the morning before I leave for school. In the middle of the school day. And sometimes after school because right now my eyes feel really dry. But then also chapstick. Maybe a spray. Something to freshen the body spray up. And
Your
then
Axe stuff.
I upgraded. And then brush my hair.
Gentleman's blend. Yeah,
Yeah,
you do
gent-
brush your hair.
That's kind of like a nervous thing.
You do what you got to do.
So Jack you would leave earlier, and we're not talking about like judgment. We're talking about like what would help your
because
tiredness.
this podcast is the manifestation of me not leaving school at contract time. Right?
If we never left school, we never would have the
God.
podcast. That's true, Jack. Right?
Gee, is it, Steve? Is it true? My gosh. Okay. No, you would stay around for school.
I would stay around. Partially, I just need my mind to settle down.
Yeah. I think that's really hard for the band rehearsals at night. Like when you get done at like 9, because you want to get
Yeah.
home so you get sleep, but you're
Yes.
like, I can't sleep. I'm
You
thinking
can't sleep
about, I'm
when
like,
you get
dut,
home.
1 and 2, and
Right.
yeah. Okay. What are things we do to help the tiredness? Steve and I are self-professed caffeine addicts. True?
True.
True. Steve tried to do a detox once the first week of band camp.
That was like
Ask him how that went.
I've done a lot of stupid things in my life. That was
That might have
right up
taken
there.
the cake.
And was it freshman band? I don't know. We were here a lot.
I don't
But
remember, but you were like so happy when you talked to the kids, and then as soon as they leave, you're like, Jack, I'm dying. You're like, Jack, I don't know what a migraine is, but I have one.
That was the first time
You're
I think
like,
I
I'm
ever had a
seeing
migraine.
sounds. I'm hearing colors.
I listened to those binaural beats. Do you ever listen to those?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Binaural.
Who's Norl? What's by her? Beats binaural? Is
Yeah.
Norl the name of the person and she
No,
made
you
beats?
pulled this up and it was like stuff like brown noise.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff to help.
Binaural? Aural? Like aural skills?
Yeah,
A-U?
Jack. We're in the music department.
So you said that is not. I'm
I'm gonna look it up right now.
okay. Steve's distracted now.
Okay. No, we I stopped caffeine because I was doing a detox, and I wanted to retox. Like
You're
a
like immediately.
freak. No, but I did caffeine. The first day I was fine. I was like, I got this. The second day I was like, someone please kill me immediately.
You're like, can I have a lobotomy
This
now?
please take the ice pick. I mean, I was.
Get
it
right
was-
in the eye.
I-
Right in the eye.
I
No more
could
eye drops if
not-
you have a lobotomy.
I could not get myself to stop. But there.
Binaural beats therapy.
Did that help? No, it did not help. It just felt like I was under somebody's sink.
Okay, we do try and get good sleep. Doesn't matter. I mean, we do get good sleep, but I don't think that changes things.
What do you mean by good sleep? I think
Like
we should
8
be-
hours. 8
Okay,
hours,
so
like
you
not
get-
in
you get
bed
up-
for 8 hours, but asleep. Although I get up at 5:45. You're at what, 6:15?
Yeah. 6:05.
6:05. I'm usually in bed by 9:30. You're in bed. That's like your latest.
If I'm up
Unless
at
Kentucky's
9:30,
playing.
Kentucky's playing.
Yeah.
I went to last week on Thursday. Kathy and I guess it ended up being kind of like date night. It was that really snowy night.
Yeah.
We went to a Notre Dame women's basketball game.
Yeah.
And it went in, and I was in the fourth quarter. I was like, "Brr," and it went into overtime.
And you're like,
I was like, and it was so loud. But I told Kathy on the way home, I said, I'm so tired that I could have slept on the floor where the popcorn and Diet Coke was at my feet. I could have slept there with all the craziness of, 12,000 people losing their minds and the pep band and the strobes. I could have slept. And that was 9:30. I did get a little nervous at 9:30. I was like, Steve's got to go home.
You're the driver?
I did drive, and Kathy thanked me for driving home because it was a little
That
sketch.
was a little dicey.
It
Thursday
was.
night was bad.
So I do like 9 o'clock. Lights out at 9:30. Go to bed 9:30. So
Yeah, you're getting like 8.
8.5.
Okay, Steve and I also have some manic moments when we teach. True?
True.
Would our tire and fatigue go away if we were more calm when we taught?
But then you want to get the feedback.
I think right. But I'm like asking for myself. I think I would almost be more tired because I am not using energy. Because you don't feel that tired when you teach.
Right.
Unless the kids are acting really tired. But usually it hits you at the end of the day. You're like, oh, my God, did I run a marathon?
Yes.
But manic moment today. We are in the midst of jazz band choreography and trying to get kids to express and emote with their faces and their eyes and their hands and their horns. And we worked on the hi-ya move today a lot.
Yeah.
I was going to town today. I was smoking them.
Yeah?
I was smoking the kids.
You got them?
And then they got going. But like that's like just a moment. I'm like acting like a fool.
Yeah,
'Cause
like a fool with your
I am
pants on the ground.
Looking like a fool
With the pants on the ground.
What? That was good.
That was good.
But that would be gradual release method. I do, we do, you do.
Yep.
That's what I was doing.
We worked on that today too.
Yeah, exactly. The hi-ya, man. So it's doing stuff like that all the time. And then it's right. It's when you like sit down at the end of the day, you're like, I'm out. I got nothing. I'm out.
So then it makes you think of like concert band. Because kids come into their chairs at seventh period at the last 45 minutes a day and they sit down. And it's not active as far as like it's not marching band or
You're
jazz
not
band.
moving.
We're not moving.
Just sitting and playing.
And I don't know. I think it's easy. Yeah, I think we need to have more band directors on this podcast, like talk about the energy and
Yeah,
concert
band directors chime in here. Chime in. What do you do to get your bands to be energetic? Do you want them energetic?
But I know maybe there's times you don't want.
Maybe you don't want that. Dude, I think that I was okay. I thought about this 5 minutes ago and then didn't think about it again. I think that kids talking in class helps me not feel fatigued. And I don't mean talking like
dude, you
constructively all the
on a
time.
reel right there. Kids talking in class help me feel not fatigued.
Wow. Is that a hot take?
That's an interesting one.
Well, okay,
I don't
for
think that
example,
you're normally that interesting, but that is a very interesting concept.
gee, Steve, really? You don't think I am that interesting? Who wants to see two podcasters fight?
Woo!
Okay. I have a student in my high brass section that has been absent for a few days. Said student came back. Said student had some zingers. And I said, dude, I hope you have other teachers in your day that like let you talk during class because I think it's funny and it keeps things moving.
Okay.
And he goes, I don't talk in my other classes. I'm like,
Really?
fascinating. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I don't talk. Only this one. And I'm like, well, keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, like, it's good. Because I could see some teachers, and this is like probably best practices in classroom management, but it's also like about fatigue.
Yeah.
And you and I, in most classes, are pretty congruent with this. I think that we, like, if we're teaching and a kid says something funny that's relevant to the content that's going on, we're usually into it.
Yes.
And it helps keeps things moving, and it's funny, and it gives me energy, and I think it gives the class energy, so I'm with it. It's the behind the scenes inside jokes between a couple kids that we don't want.
Lame.
No, I want to, as Michael Scott would say, I love inside jokes, and I hope to be a part of one someday. But it's the stuff that like is for the whole class that's like kind of funny, and you're like, that was good. That was good.
That's good.
Well
you
done.
want kids to be able to throw a zinger out there.
And that gives me energy. And if I had kids that were absolutely silent and bots in concert band, I would quit my job so fast, dude. That is not fun. I need kids throwing out zingers and giving me energy.
Yeah.
Come at me, teachers. If you say, no, quiet rehearsals only.
A silent classroom is a good classroom.
I don't want to be in your band. I don't want to be in your band, dude. That is not fun. No.
We've had some guests on here that would disagree with that. But that's them.
That's my take, dude.
That's them.
I was in your band as a kid, and that was not a silent band. Did I get in trouble for talking? Absolutely. Did I figure it out eventually? Jury's still out on that one.
Yes. Well, I come back into your band and blow it up. So
look at that. Full circle.
Full circle.
From teacher
the
to
master
boss.
has become the slug lord.
Yeah. No, I need people talking in my classes or else it is not fun.
Okay, let's talk tired. Also, sleep. You exercise. You run every day.
Yep.
Right?
3 miles.
You're just better than me, Jack.
That's true. Glad you finally realized it.
3 miles, and you feel good after that. You get the runner's high.
It's real, dude. Runner's high. It's good. It's real. It's free. As he yawns. As he yawns, unscripted. That was good.
Okay,
you exercise. You go on walks with Oliver.
Yeah.
You
I do my weights
running.
in the morning, you know.
He's jacked. Look at him. Look at him. Ripped.
Okay, so I do
Don't
a
mess
little bit
with
of
them, kids.
weights. Planking in the morning.
You plank?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. You do a minute?
I do a minute.
Gosh, planks stink, dude.
I listen to some podcasts. I usually read about Kentucky basketball. There's so much to read about now. It's like I can't keep up with it. But okay, so then diet. Jack is very good about eating clean. Does a lot of home cooking. Brings his lunch and dinner to cooks that stuff. A lot of lean protein and veggies.
Oh, that's true. During
that's
the
what
week.
I mean.
Chicken, Brussels sprouts, potatoes.
Yep. And some good seasonings. You drink a lot of water.
Try to.
Caffeine.
Drink a lot of
People would
coffee.
say boo in the caffeine.
A lot of
But
coffee. Only 2 cups a day. 2 big cups.
2 big, huge
2
cups.
perfect
Huge
cups of coffee.
Cups. They were huge cups
2
of coffee.
perfect
Huge
cups.
cups of coffee. Okay. Then we have water. You're drinking water all the time.
You drink water too.
I do. I drink water at lunch. And then lately, who told me this? I forget where I saw it. It was just like talking about the importance of eating or drinking as soon as you get up, like 12 ounces of water.
yeah, I've heard about that.
You
do
know,
it?
I've been doing that in the last week because I heard about it. But
for you.
usually I am pretty thirsty when I get up.
Okay.
So I do that. So I usually do 12 to 16 ounces of water and then like 32 ounces of coffee.
Do you do nighttime sleepy
Tea.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, like I have extreme sleepy tea now.
extreme
I think that's what it's called.
extreme sleepy tea? I hope the
So-
branding's like that. It's like
no,
really
it's
intense.
got this tatted
It's-
up.
yeah, it's a
teddy
dude
bear.
like with suns out, guns out.
I want you to sleep.
Sleepy time tea.
I think it is. It's like chamomile, and
But it's like a dude with like a
peppermint.
night cap on.
like a little bear. you
Yeah,
know?
that's good.
That or peppermint tea.
Does it help? Help wind you down?
Yeah, because if you take time to drink a cup of tea,
That's true. It's
it's
not the
kinda-
tea. It's
the ritual.
action associated.
Right?
That's true.
So that
Yeah.
helps.
Okay. I've been doing Chamomile.
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 You just said-
Chamomile. I don't know how to say it.
No,
It's one
it's-
of those things
no,
you always
it's
look at
cha-
the box
No, it's chamomile.
because it looks like chamomile.
Right, but it's does have a slightly sweet taste to it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
A flowery taste.
Yeah,
almost.
and now it associates me with sleep. So I've
Yeah.
created the Pavlovian response. It's good.
Yep.
It's the Aldi stuff.
Mhm.
Dude, I need to get off the Aldi cheap stuff because I keep finding like bits of the tea bag have like seeped out into the water, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't wanna
I
do
think
that."
that's just what happens, Jack.
Is that true? No, for real, is that true?
I think
You
it's
always
okay.
get little bits.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
need to switch
okay.
to
Well,
the
this has
extreme.
extreme sleep. I have extreme sleepiness. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. You okay?
Extreme. Be tired. Can you tell that we're tired since
Okay.
we're completely
Okay, there's
manic?
okay. Do you know there's a brand of coffee out there called Steep and Brew?
Mm-mm.
If you're not okay, you would probably get it like in a gift basket that maybe had like a mug in it and some cookies and it had like some coffee
Okay.
stuff.
Steep and brew.
Steep and Brew, and they're like a foil package that look, about the size of a sock,
'Kay.
right? Steep and Brew, and
Okay.
like on Saturday, for whatever reason, I was hankering for a cup of hot chocolate. Hankering for a cup of hot chocolate,
'Kay.
right? And so I went above the stove, and I was like, "Oh, we had Keurig ones, which is funny because we don't even have a Keurig. I don't even know why we have them. Think maybe Adam had one. I don't know.
We got K-cups with no
K cups and no K.
Keurig.
So I could have just used that.
Okay.
Just busted them open.
Yeah.
But then I was digging into some Swiss Miss boxes, and there was no Swiss Miss in there. But there are these things called Steep and Brew, and it said. Well, what I didn't notice was Steep and Brew flavored or holiday flavored coffee. It clearly said coffee, but it said start with 16 ounces of boiling water. So I took my UK mug, put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
3 minutes, take it out. It's like lava hot. I snipped the top of that thing open, thinking I'm going to get a little marshmallow, a little minty, chocolatey goodness, and
Yeah.
I poured it in there. I'm like, dang, that looks like coffee grounds. I just threw coffee. It was coffee. It was like mint, mocha, coffee.
And not instant coffee where
Not
it dissolves.
instant.
It's just like
It should have been brewed.
that is
but it was-
Turkish.
and it just,
Now it is Turkish
and
coffee.
it just sat on the top of my mug, just like, bleh. And I was like,
and you're like,
okay.
Kathy?
And I was like, wait, is that Turkish coffee?
I don't think that's actually Turkish
You
coffee.
let it go down.
There
So
are
I-
some grounds in there though.
So
That's
I
gross.
I just threw the whole thing away. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's a tough
"Frick
day.
it." Okay.
That is a tough day. I'm sorry
so
about your hankering.
sleep, water, exercise, diet.
Yeah, and even then, it's like, even if you're doing all the right things, which I think we do a lot of the good things. I feel exhausted right now. Do we need to cut the podcast? No. Here's the other
What
thing.
the
though.
podcast?
What the podcast? The other thing is that I think weeks like this is concert week, by the way. Steve has a 6 to 9 rehearsal tonight.
6:30.
6.
Don't push it.
30 to 9.
Sleeping in.
We have a Wednesday night 6 to 9 rehearsal.
Then
That
we-
really goes for 10 for us because we have to talk through about the whole show.
we
and say
get to
what was
Jack.
up.
Okay, and then Friday
Shut
we
up.
have like shut up.
Shut up.
Hey, shut up.
Hey, what's your name? Freddie. Freddie Jones?
Shut up. Then
School rock.
Friday we have a performance for young kids of the district
During the school day. Great.
called the Matinee, and then 2 shows on Saturday, 1 show on Sunday.
So our weekend is very
Shot.
much taken up by this Christmas spectacular. And it's really fun when you're there. Like, I think the shows are fun. The kids always have a good time backstage. But then it's like knowing that that's coming up, you're in like the Top Thrill Dragster, and you're like, not that I've ever been, but like waiting for the light to turn on, and you're just like, oh boy, here we go, here we
Yeah.
go, here we go. And like sometimes that's like the most scary part is like the before
Right.
and not the during. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like
Right.
gearing up for the Top Thrill Dragster this week, and I'm like, oh boy,
Yep.
oh boy. Are we going to make it over with the top, or is it going to go backwards and we get
One-
shot back down?
One task at a time. One task at a time.
That's an episode.
One task
Pocket-
at a time.
pocket that
it's
one.
the Google Keep. Check it off.
Checkity check.
So, so then extrovert, introvert, along with all those lifestyle choices, and then you're ended up with, what you have at the end of the day.
So can introverts be good teachers?
No, shouldn't even be in the
Dude,
building.
I think I'm an introvert.
Gosh, what a geek.
Wow. You just told me I basically shouldn't teach, and I opened up to you, and you throw me under the bus.
Okay, I think I've had more tendencies towards being an introvert. I think you can change.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I appreciate my solitude.
I think I used to be more extroverted, too. And now I'm shriveling up into a ball.
Oh, okay. Along with fatigue would be like quietness, stillness, reading, you use self-help, but
Reflection.
reflection, developing as a human.
And
where you-
stilling the snow globe, as you would say.
Where you're thinking about those skills and virtue.
That's true. You do that every day.
I do that every day.
I do that twice a week.
There you go. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Sure. Does this count as self-reflection? Talking into a microphone?
No.
Okay. But I
'Cause
can count it toward my PGP hours, right?
Oh, you're already done for PGP. You're already done with
Take
your
that, teacher's license.
professional growth pills. What is it called?
Professional growth.
Professional growth points.
Yeah.
You have to have so many of them to get your license renewed. No, totally. This is absolutely 100%.
Do our listeners get the points too?
They should.
If they show that they've listened to, hey,
they
if
comment.
you subscribe and comment, you
We'll-
get your PGP. We'll sign your paper. We'll talk to
We
your
will-
principal directly and
we
say
will
they're
send you-
good.
we'll send
Life
you it.
license. We got
We
you.
will send you a paper that says good. I'd do that.
That would be okay. Some podcasts do like stickers or merch,
Yeah.
right? We could do a PGP signature as like a sticker. Say, yeah, your face on it with a thumbs up.
Whee!
Who's got 90 points and 2 thumbs up?
Yeah.
This guy.
this guy. That's good.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay, I feel like we've been talking
should
for a long
wrap it.
time.
This
Steve's
is
got to
a
go
lot.
rehearse tonight.
No, I got to go get some food.
Oh, where are you going to go?
I might go to Jimmy John's.
Ooh,
Is it dark out?
it's getting there. It is getting there.
Is
Have you been to Chipotle since it's open?
No.
I haven't either.
That's
Are
like
you
too
not-
much food to go before
Oh, you and I are two
rehearsal.
different people. Well, that's kind of true.
I mean, it's
but you
like-
and I are two different people.
Like Jimmy John's feels like a lot.
That's a hot take. I don't agree. Jimmy John. No,
it
I could
makes
eat
me-
like
it
3
makes-
of those, dude. Dude, I went to Subway for the first time in a long
I'm
time.
sorry.
Okay, food, fine. Atmosphere, very sad. Very sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad. I'm sorry if there are any Subway's employees or
Guess there goes our endorsement by Subway.
sorry.
More like Sadway.
Sad way.
Okay, so please go to social media and find us chops_podcast and give us a review.
Get
Positive.
us to 5,000 followers on TikTok.
How many are we at?
46, 50, something.
All I want for Christmas is
All I
5
want for
Christmas
Christmas is
is
5,000 subscribers.
There's no way that one person went. Played the
The piano,
piano
part.
line. I
They
can't.
could they do it 2 hands?
Yeah, with 2 pianos.
No, it was 2 people on 1 key, trading, splitting triplets.
Yeah, they could do that. I don't want to do that tune again because I have to hear that piano part. I don't want to hear that.
Wait, isn't that the tradition though for post Christmas Beck? We're gonna do that next week.
We are going to do it for next week. We're going to play that tune. We're going to blow the doors down.
Saxophone solo.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's written for?
Yeah. We're going to play it. Then we're
Face you.
Well, I was just like thinking we got to work on that. Well, no, that's the fun.
That's the fun.
We
We
bring
just
it
sight
out
read
like on.
It was concert band and we
Went
can't do
on
that
some-
this year. That's too big. We can't fit in the room. I mean, we could, but
I just want to sing.
maybe we do that. Let's sing.
All I
Caroling
want for
through the school.
Christmas is Okay, so please like and review. Give us a positive review or a
Subscribe.
negative or a positive. We
Do
don't
it.
care. Do it now.
Do it.
Okay, so for Steve Peterson,
Jack Hinkle.
we're out of here.